So this is an undergraduate course that I teach, and this is, as the course name says, is quality assurance, right? So the first thing that I do to make sure that the students are engaged with the course is to put a picture, like an overview, and then what it helps me is that for me is to probably engage my students and tell them why this course, right? And what is the meaning of this picture. So this course is like a lower division course, Tech 33. And I'm already telling my students that if you look at this quality assurance or quality engineering, similar to fruit picking, then how much knowledge you need or how much effort you need to put into this so that you can be successful. My point is that by having this picture at the beginning of the semester, I tell them that what are my expectations. I don't expect them to do DFSS projects. I don't expect them to do DMake projects, but I expect them to learn some statistical tools and some part of this DMake project to address some quality related. And then my justification is the level of the course, right? So that is a way to explain the beginning of the course and talk about my explanation or my expectation for this course. And then some information, and I always in the homepage create this Start Here module because I believe it's very useful for making sure that we are meeting all those standards that we talk about. And then I usually get a quiz, just like some extra credit quiz, so students make sure that they read this. And then the first part is like course navigation. It's the standard Canvas, nothing special. The other one is like about the syllabus. So I explain about the syllabus, and also I post the syllabus in a different web page. So here's like the web version of the syllabus, and I spend the first session of the course explaining that, because here I talk about what are the learning outcome of this course, right? For example, I start with define and utilize, some simpler words, action words, to perform, which is more on the application side, and finally identify, analyze, and solve. So this would be a sort of projects that they do, and now the action verbs they are at a higher level. So these course learning objectives, they are measurable, and it's about 6. So 6 is like, you don't want to have like 10, right, or 13. So maybe 5, 6, that would be all you expect. And for me as a teacher, I would go ahead and do my assessment map and my modular design of the course based on these different learning objectives that I define here. So that would give me, okay, my students at the end want to answer 2 or 3 questions that help them become, for example, some quality engineer, or at a lower level, some quality technician. So what would that be? And then the information about grading and grading policy of the course. So here is like the detailed explanation of, for example, when is the midterm exam, the final exam is comprehensive, what is the percentage of that, so that, and then the rest is just for university policy. And I always post an overview or a tentative schedule, because that way students can plan to see what is the course load and how it is changing over time. So this is just like the form standard syllabus that we have. So let me go back to that Start Here module. So the other standard talks about is, for example, the software, or for my assessment tools, what I'm going to use in this class. So these are like the Microsoft Office, Zoom, Adobe, and then Minitab software. So for each one, there is like this explanation. And then I look for some, for example, accessibility statements for the technology, and then they all go under this page, and I publish this page as software and platform requirements. So that way, I'm addressing one of those other standards that we just talked about accessibility of the tool. Now, the plan for interaction, or the plan for communication, this is something that I created, and then I use it as a template for many of my courses, and then just keep changing them based on the level of the course or the requirement. So here I talk about my interaction with them. They can email me. How long does it take for me to answer? For example, I said during the week, usually within 24 hours, and then if it is weekend, it might be 48 to 72 hours, just to make sure that I'm not creating unrealistic expectations. And then I talk about discussion forums, grading assignments, emails, and announcements as different way that I'm going to communicate with my students. So that would be like my social presence in this course, and how I show that I am there when they are studying or when they are working. And then the way that a student's interaction is expected in this course, like learner-learner interaction happens, is through discussion forums, collaborative tasks that I give them, and also the assignment activities that they have. This assignment activities is a type of learner content. So here I'm creating some learner-instructor kind of interaction, learner-learner interaction, and learner content interaction. And again, for the etiquette, there is like this standard page that has all the information about, okay, how you are expected to communicate in the class, and then usually help some students if they already do not know about that. So that would be some further information posted. Then there is classroom protocol, there is university policy. So this university policy, they are like directly copy pasted from the university website. And the explanation of the student support services. So again, what are the IT help desk they can use? What about eCampus, the technology support center that we have at SJSU, the institutional accessibility services, because some students really need that. And in my experience, it's very helpful if at the beginning, like the first session, when you are going through the syllabus, you make sure to know students that if they need a special accommodation, they have to contact you. So you want to make sure that if you have any special needed students or some students with those special accommodations, then they are set and they know that you are aware of that, so they can be comfortable in the learning environment that you create for them. And then some more information about learning resources that they are on, again, SJSU website. And then, for example, this is a sample discussion board that I always use at the beginning of the semester, some introductory discussion. And then I say, okay, the learning objective is to, and of course, this is not very formal learning objective, right? So getting to know each other, becoming familiar with the Canvas discussion tool, and become familiar with the etiquette that we need to use for this course. And then I talk about the activities that I expect them to do. For example, update your Canvas profile, write about your academic and work background, and then if you want to post your answer, you should reply. And you may think that all the students know them by heart, but if you have some students that they have never worked in Canvas, or they had a different system or learning management system, then this information could be useful. Even a post about how to post on the discussion forum, then this is how they post, and then students go ahead and start posting, and you encourage them to talk together, or for example, have some interaction. So that would be another activity that can be done. So here's again for the first written assignment. So except for just whatever, and this is an assignment that I was doing, for example, for some specific module. So first, I again include some instruction from Canvas that how you should submit an assignment if it is online submission, and then how to, if I'm going to give you some annotation feedback, then how can you see that? And then how can I view assignment comments from my instructor? So just post the links there. And again, if the students are unfamiliar, they can go ahead and look at that. And then for the assignment, I specifically said that it is from which module, from which lecture, and then to successfully complete this assignment, you are required to study the lecture notes and the videos from these specific modules, and then this specific lecture, and then the instruction for that. So this is just like some sample for the Start Here module, that to meet all those quality standards, quality matter standards. And an example for, maybe I can do this one. So this is a sample module, module 2, and this is an introduction. So the topic is Introduction to Six Sigma and DMake process. I list the module learning objective here, and then this learning objective are modular, and then they are consistent with those course objectives or course learning objectives that I talked about in the syllabus, and I listed them on the syllabus page. So there is a lecture, and then there is a video for that lecture. There is some external resources that the students can read, and again, I put optional reading because sometimes they think it is like part of the course, but this is optional. And then the assignment is a discussion that they want to use, and the assessment is one quiz that they want to use. Now, I just want to focus on that learning objective. So here is just like a very brief description about what is this module about, and then you will be able to define this. So here, the way that I address the learning objective is a bit different from the course learning objective, and I say define, analyze. So here I say you should be able to answer these questions, or define the steps of DMake process, or define the Six Sigma roles that we have. So this is one way that we can design the learning objective per module. Or if I look at another module, for example, module 3, and this is about conceptual works for quality. Again, I go ahead and have some specific information about what is this chapter or this module about. And here, I don't want them to answer those questions, and then I use those measurable words, like explain the importance of this, define this. So these are the two words or the two action verbs that can be used for this specific module. And again, all those lectures and everything else. So this is just an example of how this course is designed to meet those quality standards.